All right, Kansas and Western fans, it's time for update number 15 of the construction of the Kansas and Western HO scale railroad. Do another quick overview today for new viewers, but I've tried something new today, and I'm hoping I can stitch this thing together on my first attempt at editing videos. I shot a prequel video, I guess, for a homework assignment, and I'll touch on that again at the end, but I don't want to go over all of it now. I'm hoping I can get the two videos to tie together for one, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. But to start down here at Tennessee Pass, and I've decided to change the name of this whole area here from Canon City down to the helix. We're just going to call this the Royal Gorge route. That way it kind of covers the whole line. It already has a scenic meaning to it in prototypical life, so that's what we're going to use it here, because this is just going to be one big scenic section. Anyway, as you can see, I finally got some track laid outside of the helix. I have foam laid on the entire middle level, actually, but you can see I left the front edge empty of foam because that's where the river's going to run in general. It's going to be windy. There's going to be rock outcroppings. There's going to be probably a campground. Maybe some of Highway 50 is going to be represented, but I didn't see the need to put a whole bunch of foam there because it's just going to be easier, as far as I know, to pour a river in there without having to cut a bunch of foam out. We'll see. Never poured any water before, so I'm sort of looking forward to that. Have a lot to learn. Definitely going to do some tests, but basically one giant river here. And then I have a single turnout installed here. There's going to be a siding that's going to run most of the way just for some passing opportunities in this cool scenic area. And then I have all the rest of the lights installed there. Moving on. Wrapping around here, and then this is where the end of Canon City will start. Starting here with the train station. This base I did have used. I was planning to use for Lamar Station, but if you've seen some of my previous videos, that foundation just kind of barely fit over there. So there's a lot more room here for a bigger station, even though in reality Canon City and Lamar have similar size stations. I'm going to swap those out, put the bigger one here and the smaller one over there just for some space considerations. But you can see I've started my collection of Rio Grande passenger cars. These are actually the same type that the Royal Gorge route uses, or at least some of them. So working on a maybe 4 or 5 car excursion train, and these are the first 2 of that. Moving down here, decided to add a gravel company in here. Canon City does have a gravel company that's rail served. I've checked out their website. They send rock all over the country and landscaping rock and all kinds of things. So that'll be kind of a neat thing to add here. And then I've got a start to the Portland Cement Company here, which will be kind of tucked down in this corner. And we'll have elements that will help hide the main line wrapping around. And then taking viewer comments to heart, and it made a lot of sense. I'm going to move the programming track lead down to here. And it's going to wrap around the edge of the main line and then feed onto my custom built desk that I'll be adding. It's been way too cold around here the last couple weeks to work in the garage. I don't really do well in 20-degree weather trying to cut wood, so nothing happening here, but at least I got it cleaned up a little bit. But I will be adding a permanent desk here, and I'll have that programming track run right across the back edge, so I've got plenty of room to program locomotives. And then this will be how all rolling stock will enter the layout. I'll detail it, whatever, paint it, and then add it to this track, and then it'll be fed on to the layout there. Moving on, I will talk about these corners because I did get some comments about those. Some good ideas about cutting those off. I do plan to do that. Just not super high on the list, mostly because I haven't struck my knee on it yet. So I guarantee as soon as that happens, it'll be the next thing that I do. But so far I've been able to avoid those, but they will be coming off just to save a little bit of future leg pain. Moving on. As you can see, more foam added. We're coming into Pueblo here. I have a kit that I'll be adding. There's a truck surf fuel distributor near the rail yard in Pueblo that I'll be adding. And this will be a very, very sad representation of the Pueblo yard because I don't want to have 2 major yards end to end with La Junta down there. So this will basically be just a yard that'll help serve industries. But it does kind of mirror the Pueblo yard in that there will be some river scene in the foreground, just like the real yard. So I'm going to kind of split the difference there. Adding the fuel distributor there. At the other end, we have food distributor. I've got the foundation laid out for that. It's going to help hide the 90-degree angle of the backdrop, so it's going to save me from having to do a curved backdrop there in the corner because the structure's a couple, 2-3 stories high. Might put a smokestack right in the exact corner to hide that turn, so it'll be kind of masking that. And then I've been playing with the idea, along the Pueblo yard, they actually have a railroad museum with several pieces of rolling stock. Thinking about adding that here. Just might be an interesting thing. I don't see a whole lot of railroad museums on layouts, which is kind of funny because we all like railroad museums, but not too many people put them on their layouts. So I thought that'd be a good way to add all kinds of different rolling stock just to have on display. And then I could use that to rotate out stock as I collect more. So might be doing that. Haven't worked that out yet, so we'll see. And then moving on to La Junta Yard. I've added those trees and a little bit of a piece of foam there to kind of illustrate how I plan to hide the transition of the main line passing from La Junta Yard to Pueblo, which is obviously several dozen miles apart in reality. So I have to try to hide that transition. And that's kind of a general illustration of how I plan to do that. Moving on, La Junta Yard, I got a few pieces of track installed there at the end, but the majority of my time spent on this area was soldering feeders and rail joints. All the rail joints have been done, but as you can see these rail ties sticking straight up in the air, that's where I've drilled holes for feeders. And I just have this end to do. Everything else is operational, but those are just kind of reminders because the holes are kind of small. I don't want to lose track of where they are, so I stuck rail ties in them just to remind me. But basically just this end of the yard to continue to add feeders to, and then the whole yard will be operational except for this engine service facility and rail car structure. Still have to add the sanding and fuel areas before I lay the track to make sure I leave space for everything. So that's why this end isn't done yet. Moving on. Have added a few of the storage tracks down here, or at least gotten started. Got this nice kit for this transload dock added. Haven't quite decided that's where I want it yet. I'm thinking about putting a highway bridge to kind of help this corner transition, because on the east end of La Junta, there's a state highway bridge that crosses over the yard, so I'm thinking about adding that from the corner straight out to this corner. Not sure yet, have a kit on order, going to put it together, see what it looks like, if I like it or not, and then that might affect where I put that transload ramp. And in the back will be a maintenance away yard with rails and ties and such. Moving on. Here's that smaller station foundation. It's still pretty wide, but it's not as long, so it gives me a little bit more flexibility as to where I can locate it, but that's the plan for that. Not much new for for Lamar. Added an extra silo for that distribution warehouse. All that track has been soldered and wired, and all of it works, so that's nice. I got my first grain bin kit. I think I can add 4 of these to right up against the backdrop to kind of, again, just hide the transition so it doesn't stand out so bad. Moving around to Holly. Really the only thing I've gotten done here, I have added, or penciled in rather, my first grade crossing. Right next to the elevator in Holly is a highway, I think it's 89 it says, that passes right across the tracks off, and it goes south out of Holly. So I'm going to try my first road grade crossing there. Kind of excited about that. Well, there's all kinds of different ways to do things like that, so I'm going to give that a shot. And then I did some more track weathering here. And I guess this will be another homework assignment for everybody. What do you guys think of this? This is the first time I've tried hand track weathering like this. In the past, I've really just spray painted the tracks a single color and called it good. I wanted a little bit more character in my track because that is a main part of the layout, is the actual track. What I've done is I've used 4 different colors on a palette and then rolled a simple 6-sided dice to basically randomize the number of ties that are done. And this is the main line, so not every tie is going to be weathered. But that's the result. I'm kind of curious what everybody thinks. You can't hurt my feelings. I've never done this before. I'd really like to know if I'm the only one that thinks this looks cool or if it looks kind of dumb. I don't know. I'd be honest. I'd like to know. I'd like to modify my approach before I do a whole lot more. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. And then moving up, just have this single kit so far. going to be a power plant of some kind. What I haven't decided is if I'm going to put the power plant itself on a backdrop on the wall and then just do the conveyor system for the coal, where the coal piles go. Still trying to get kits added so I can start putting things together, decide how much space they're going to take up, how it's going to look. So nothing there yet. And then we have Garden City. I've added some track, added some cork. I've got this part of the track powered, so hoping to feature that in an upcoming operations video. And then passing around to Charleston Elevator, more track added. I'm excited to get this area done. You know, it's another industry that I could start to work, especially with power added up to the top level. And that's what these reels of wire are. I still have to run the track bus underneath the shelf here so I can power this track, but everything's going pretty fast up here. And then I've decided another good viewer recommendation. What do I want? A river at the top and a river below, kind of copying a scene. So I'm getting rid of the river on the top. Probably going to end up hiding the main line completely here with something. Maybe just a hillside cut. I'm not sure. Thick woods. We'll see. But just I want to hide this, you know, perfect curve from one side to the other, just to get rid of that kind of ugly layout or train set transition, I guess. And then starting over here would be the Wichita industrial area. Still have kits on order, some on the way, so I can get started with the transition down to the Wichita rail yard. Just have some track laid out here to see what it'll look like. Foam laid all the way up to this point. Have my first structure up here done. This will be the rail car maintenance facility that they have in the Wichita yard. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Not sure if that's going to be a problem or not. I might go to a single unit or single stall house. I'm not sure, but it does take up quite a bit of space. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out until I actually get some track laid out to see how that's going to work. And then moving around. And all this empty bench work is not by accident. Yesterday, I spent an hour cleaning everything up just so this place looked a little bit more presentable. Things get put everywhere when I'm working. Tools, supplies, track, everything. And I honestly just like to have a clean presentation for everybody so you can get a better idea and help visualize how things might look without a whole bunch of stuff in the way. So it does take some effort to do that, but I enjoy doing that because it helps me reset, put things away that haven't been used for a while, and just start off with a clean slate every week. And then moving around, be a cement distributor there in the corner. And then I've got this kit that I got for Christmas. The water tower in Towanda is kind of a prominent feature, the highest thing in town, obviously. Got that built. I'm going to do a grain silo that's also featured in Towanda. You can see it right by the highway. It's got Towanda spelled on the side with, I think the W is crooked for some reason, but that kind of stands out. So I'll probably add that with obviously some homes. And then moving down to El Dorado and the refinery. I do have the typical Walthers refinery kit and an oil loading platform. Probably add a couple more refinery kits. Like to get that Kibri, the European model that has the chemical plant, kind of combine all those together. There's an awesome module somewhere around here that I've seen that does the Augusta refinery, and it looks fantastic. So I'd like to kind of emulate that to the best of my ability, but we'll see. And then haven't really focused on trying to finish this bridge because there's no track over here yet. So I will get to that when I get to it. And then obviously nothing done for Union Tank Farm. So if I can't stitch together that other video that I shot right before this one, what I'd like to do is ask the viewers what area of the railroad they'd like to see worked on the most between now and the next video. I think it'd be kind of fun to get everybody's opinion, see how much engagement there is, and see what excites you everybody the most. You know, what area of the layout, what aspect of the layout. Maybe you'd like to see more of the backdrops put in and get painted, more scenery done, track, whatever. Let me know in the comments, and I will add those up over the weekend. And Monday night, I will shoot a short video to basically share the results and talk about what I will be working on. And it won't be the only thing I work on for the next 2 weeks, but it'll definitely be the major priority. And I think it'll be fun for me to working on something you guys want to see, and hopefully that leads to some more interest and some more helpful comments, because I appreciate all those. and almost reached 1,000 subscribers. Can't believe that. I appreciate everybody's support. Hoping that I can continue to keep you guys entertained and interested. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.